How's it going, fellas? Hope you all are well. Today, I'm going to break it down to y'all. Okay. The best losers are the best winners. What do I mean by that? Okay. When I say that, I mean people who lose the best win the best. And that might not make sense right now. But as I go on with the video, it'll make a bit more sense. I've been reading this book recently. It's called The Best Losers Win. It's by, I forget the author. I'll have to throw it in the description. But I've learned a lot from it. So I kind of just want to come on here, excuse me, and just talk about what I've learned, how I've applied it, and what you can learn from it. Now, when you lose, right, it doesn't even necessarily have to be trading, but that's the focus of this channel, so I'm going to keep it to that for now. When you lose a trade, right, what happens when you lose poorly? When you lose poorly, so losing poorly would be, I don't know, acting on your emotions after losing or getting riled up. It's basically making your loss cause you to do something unproductive or outright wrong, which is hard to catch in the moment, but usually every single time you look back at that loss, you just face palm. It's like, damn, it's the same thing that happened with the my trade a couple days ago. But regardless of that, when you lose, when you can't take a loss, and you can't lose correctly, that's where shit starts to get a little sketchy, right? Because if you can't lose well, you have not only how are you gonna win well, right? How are you gonna grow from your losses? When you're a bad loser, the last thing you want to do is grow, reflect, and realize what went wrong and fix it. Apply it to next session or the next day, right? Say you take a stupid loss and you're pissed, right? You're losing awful. You're pissed, now you're acting emotionally. Maybe you take another loss because you took that loss and you acted on it, or maybe you said something you didn't mean, or you just did some shit that you shouldn't have, right? Not only that's also side point. That's also gonna compound into you hating yourself, because you're gonna look back. This has happened to me. You pile these losses after one simple loss that you could have mitigated, right? And you could have reflected on and learned from. You let snowball into multiple different losses and maybe even a more detrimental loss. Looking back on that can be extremely crushing because, you allowed yourself to slip away and act purely on your emotions in the moment. And that's what nobody wants. Anywhere in life, acting purely off your emotions usually is never a good idea. If, example, somebody calls you fat, right? You're fat and stupid. If you act off your emotions, your anger and your sadness, what if you beat the shit out of that guy? Uh-oh, now you're arrested, or you have an assault charge, something like that. But if you think, not using, you're going to experience these emotions, but if you think, act on your thinking, oh, maybe you're not going to beat the shit out of that guy. Maybe you're going to walk away, be the bigger man, And in trading, you take a loss, you act on your emotions, you take another loss. You don't gather your data for the day. You think everything sucks. You give up for the day. Oh, tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, though. The only thing that's promised is today. So, with that being said, how can you take a loss? How can you be a good loser? Well, I simply don't have the answer for that. I'm sorry if you were looking for it. I'm not going to lie to you because I don't know you. I don't know what you go through. I don't know how you work. How I have been able to handle my losses and, learn from them and be better for them is rationalizing and rationally accepting that I'm already going to lose. You already know you're going to lose. When you lose, you're going to be expecting it or expecting to lose worse. Think about, I don't know, Think that if you're gonna lose, and then you're gonna lose again and again and again, and then once you lose, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I lost, and you're gonna be able to pick yourself back up and be like, okay, I'm gonna make a smart decision now, and either go on with my day or and reflect, yada yada yada. The only way to figure out how to be a good loser is to lose. You're gonna have to lose, and you're gonna have to lose regardless. But being conscious of when you lose, what sets you off, what do you do when you lose, and starting to mitigate these things and catch them before they happens is the best way you're gonna be able to transition into these losses are gonna come to you, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, sweet, I can learn from this. This was bound to happen. So, what can I do with it? Not just wallow in my own sadness and fear. And then that'll transition into your wins. Well, what happens when you win? Be a good winner. If you win, do you take another trade and another trade? Do you get covered in greed and then lose from it? Do you flaunt it to everybody and then get nervous and have this pressure on you that I have to win? I show everybody that I win. You know, Learning how to lose is learning how to win. And once you know how to lose, you know how to win. I don't really think it's the other way around. If you know how to win, chances are you don't know how to lose correctly. You might lose better than others, but you're still gonna have that mental barrier because when you're losing, well, when you're trading and losing, you're losing money, right? Or you're losing progress on your account, or you're losing your ego, right? You see that shit, ooh, that hurt. That was the biggest thing I struggle. I never struggle with the P&L of losing. I always struggle with the ego of losing, accepting, damn, I really lost. I made this dumbass mistake, but then I can't figure it out. Whole nother tangent. Regardless of that, once you're able to master losing and winning, you genuinely will be able to master your life. I believe with all of my heart that those are the stepping stones you need in your life to be successful in whatever you do. Every single part of your life, not trading, working out, just your life in general. Because you're going to lose everywhere in life and you're going to win everywhere in life. So if you're able to win, be a good loser and be a good winner, you're going to be a good person. You're going to have a good life. That's just how it works. That's the facts. You can look up any biography of any successful person or any successful person and I, without a doubt, for a fact, they will tell you that they had to learn how to lose and be able to lose and be comfortable with losing. And the same thing with winning. Other than that, I would just recommend you to take some time to reflect, maybe on your trading week or something that's happened in your life where you've been losing, seeing how you react off of it, seeing how you can fix it day by day, slowly building the momentum to become a better loser.